part. If there's anyone who would like to do the Pledge of Allegiance, please let me know and we can go through that. Is there anyone that would like to go through the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay. And so, actually, just a quick introduction. Want to get everything together. Thank you all for joining us in this meeting. Jay White and Mr. Navarro's department, thank you for joining us on this new venture. We'll have to set a meeting aside so that we can really get into all the different projects that we're currently working on and see how we can work together on these things. I don't know if you've been introduced to Jose yet, but Jose is our executive director. He runs the organization, on all of the day-to-day operations. He's been just hours. So now we're starting to get in new volunteers. He's applying for grants. He's really the person to speak to, but also, as in terms of board members, our collaboration. This board was really put together so we could have subject matter experts and lend insight to Jose to help develop this organization, right? Make sure the resources are there for him to develop the organization. He has the right people, the right team. So we're here to help organize some of those things, give insights, provide those resources, and he does a lot of the day-to-day since we understand this is a volunteer board, right, as well. So thank you for your time. I'm always going to try to be respectful of your time and try to run through these meetings as quickly as possible because I know we have a lot of things to do. And for outside of these meetings, I've created a Slack that is really where we can start to have some more ongoing conversations about how we develop this organization and lend support to Jose. So because of Open Meetings Act and things like that, we do have to keep that board or that that Slack group to a minimum in terms of how many members we have on there. So if you're interested in it, I created the Slack already. I just want to be very selective about who we bring on there. So if you're really interested about being active more on the day-to-day operations, please send me a direct message via email, and that way I can add you on there. If you really want to be, helping with all of the different projects. So just to kind of reiterate what some of the goals are for this organization as a mission statement, right? I'm going to read verbatim what we had kind of presented to the city council so that we're all kind of on the same page. And if you want to help with any of those projects, please send me a message so that we can add you on there. So the LCS was created so that we could create an urban food system by increasing access to local fresh food for local income citizens and the community at large, offering educational programs that surround urban agriculture, community gardens, home gardens, farmers markets, and farm to school programs, providing entrepreneurial opportunities for urban farmers, cultivating xeriscaping and sustainability practices, facilitating the Laredo Policy Council, and developing policy incentives for the local food industry. I feel like we're touching a lot of these things already. We're already developing a lot of these great programs. And there's some more things like on the entrepreneurial side that I really want to start digging into. So thankfully, we also have some restaurateurs on the board. So this is what this board is about, right? Is really just collaborating and we fit onto these projects where we see best. And again, thank you for volunteering your time. And you have a direct line of communication with me and Jose and any other board member here. With that, I'll move on to the next section for the approval of the minutes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gomez. What's going on?
Hey, Mr. Gomez, thank you for joining us.
Thanks. I had a late lunch and trying to do a lunch and a meeting at the same time. Sorry about that.
That's all right. It's good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for providing all the support to Jose. He's been saying good things about the way you've been supporting his efforts. So just want to take a moment there to thank you.
Sure. Anytime we can. That's what we're here for. I know we got Councilman Mark is really pushing that for that as well. And we're actually going to start setting up like a office space in the second floor at Canseco there. So going to turn it into meeting rooms for now. So,
You can see Jose's excitement. I know you're driving, but he's very excited in there in this video.
yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Jose?
I know I didn't, but I don't.
For Wednesday at 12 o'clock, was just FYI.
Okay.
Great, so whole comprehensive, I guess, mission of our organization. I know you're familiar with it, so we'll leave it at that. So thank you for joining our meeting. And so the next step was the approval of the minutes. If you had a chance to review those,
I haven't sent any minutes out. I didn't get a chance to finish them due to an emergency that came up here in the clinic, but I'll have them. I'll send them via email in the next week.
okay, no problem. Yeah, I must have read an older one. Okay, but whenever you get that, I guess we approve them at the next meeting. Is that what we do? Okay,
Yeah, we'll put double
that's fine.
for 2 months.
Okay, with that, moving on, the president's report, just kind of the introduction. I use most of that for like just getting everything together. But moving forward, I'd really like to just give most of the time to Jose to update us on the current projects, and also just remind you of the Slack group if you're interested in that, and some of the projects that we're working on a more day-to-day basis or week to week, weekly meetings and more collaborative before just, once a month meetings. Then please reach out to me directly so I can add you to that group and we can work on projects together. I believe we can only add 4 members or 5 members so that we don't meet quorum. And so yeah, if you're interested in that, please let me know. With that, I'd like to move on to the secretary's report or Guillermo.
All right, the secretary report. Actually, I was speaking to Bobby earlier. He's not available for today's meeting, so I'll be doing both reports. For the secretary report, I do want to advise the board that our executive director, Jose, his contract is up very soon. So I put on the agenda that we should discuss his contract and either whatever we want to do, whether we want to do another contract, extend it, terminate it, whatever we all want. Somebody would have to make a motion. As the way it reads, the agreement will end on August 14th, 2021. So
Probably do that today.
yeah. Yeah, and there is an item on the agenda, so we're good to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the treasurer's report at the same time. Bobby also gave me a balance in the account. We have $77,117.72. If we do decide to extend Jose's contract for another year at the same rate, we have enough in the account to cover it and still have a little bit of cushion. However, we do really have to have a serious conversation about, where we're going to get more income moving forward.
Definitely. So I guess I would like to say, since I've been speaking with Jose a lot on these kind of projects as we've been ongoing, I'd like, if we're opening his contract for a discussion, I would like to say I have been incredibly impressed by his ability to make such a fruitful garden, right? Just the green thumb element of this is just drives so much credibility to our organization. I think to have someone who knows what they're doing with the educational programs. He's been able to teach a lot of people. I think he's incredibly driven. I know we've had some concerns on maybe the grant side of things, and so we can work on that, I believe. And it has been a one-man shop for pretty much for an entire year of having run this organization. I think for being a one-man shop with the limited resources, he really has done an outstanding job. So that would be my piece, but I of course open it up to any other comments from any other board members.
If I may, Roger, with my experience as both an executive director of another nonprofit organization and working with Jose, first and foremost, Jose has really been able to manage that garden very, very well. Even, with the limited resources that he started with, he's had consistent produce at our farmers market, consistent activity with our farmers market. And I've seen him all over the place, with TAMIU and so many different organizations that he's partnering up with besides the farmers market. So that's the pro, right? And then we did mention about the grants. As an executive director of a nonprofit, that is a very large task for one person, to be managing that size of a garden, that size of a volunteer group, this size of a board, and then on top of that, managing that. I would suggest, I think that it is something that we can work on. If we can get him, the easier low-hanging fruit ones would be helpful, that he kind of maintain those. But I think as a board, maybe until he gets more staff, or we get to a higher level, that us as board members commit to kind of helping that a little bit more. I think that's where us as volunteers can really use the connections that we have, or may have, and our expertise. Some of us might have some more expertise on writing grants or not, but a lot of the grants that he's going to be going after are FDA grants, and those are huge federal grants. They're not easy to put together. It's not just a quick 1 or 2 days, you sit down and write it. It just doesn't work like that. You have many partners you got to get together, and commitments that you have to make and things like that, all prior, and then you might not even get it. So it's a huge task and undertaking for us to ask one person to be able to do that. So that would be my note on that.
Well said. Thank you, Priscilla.
If I may, I just want to agree with Priscilla. I think she hit the nail right on the head with the word consistency. Jose demonstrates solid consistency. He is, speaking from the term of the secretary for the board, it's really easy to put together my reports, the biannual reports, because he has all his executive director reports, on time, every single time. If I ask a question, he responds immediately. The word around the community is very knowledgeable, very approachable. And going back to the word consistency, we as a board need to be consistent, and I think we should give him a chance to grow this garden and grow this project for us.
Phenomenal. Well said, Guillermo. Thank you very much. Is there any other comments from the board before I ask for someone to motion a certain direction?
Guillermo, can you just repeat real quick, because I didn't hear you, Bobby's report regarding how much we have, and then if we extended his, what did you say? What was your comment after that? I didn't catch it.
Okay, so right now the budget, well, the one account we have has $77,117. Last time we did a contract with Jose, it was for $50,000. So we have enough in the bank account to sustain his salary for 1 more year. If we do decide to do it at the current rate, we'll have a balance of $27,000 in the account moving forward for expenses for 1 year. So yes, we do have enough money to afford him for 1 more year, but we don't have enough for 2. So this is the kind of little wake-up call for us as board members to say, let's figure out what we're going to do this next year. It's going to be easier with a good executive director and a consistent one like we have, but we have to find alternate sources of income at a good amount so that we can continue this for an ongoing multi-year project. I didn't say it like that the first time, but I think the second time came out better.
Okay. Is there, and this is just just me just thinking out loud, but is there an opportunity that maybe we can do like an extension of 6 months and have it be 25,000, and then that way we're not committing the whole 50,000, but we still kind of commit him to half of what his salary would be. I don't know what you all think about that.
It's really what whoever makes a motion wants to come up with, and of course, if I guess speaking in word terms, whoever makes the motion, and if it's to continue with the current executive director, if he wishes to accept it.
Memo, this is JJ. Before you make a motion, question: what were the sources of revenues? How did we get revenues? We have that account, and what revenues can we expect coming?
To be honest with you, I can answer that, but I'm gonna ask John Porter to answer that because he knows all this stuff a lot better than I do.
Yeah, and before that, I was gonna make a motion that we go into an executive session. We're talking about, employee issues and I think it's prudent to go into executive session.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Ready?
Ready? Thank you all.
Yes, sir.
I just realized I skipped public comment, so I'll jump to that next after this.
There weren't any.
There weren't any, right? I'll still, just in case.
Okay, Jerry says we're back on.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for the executive session. If I could get a motion from one of the board members based on this discussion and possible action for the contract for our executive director.
I can go ahead and make that motion. So based on the conversations that we had in executive session, I would like to motion that we extend the executive director's contract for 6 months for $25,000, which is half of the amount of his previous contract. And then after those 6 months, we will review his contract again and see where we're at a financial point. And then from there, we can revisit to renew his contract or close it off.
Great.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second from John. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Great. Motion passes. Oh, actually, sorry, I should ask, is there any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Congratulations, Lisette, on the extension. Thank you, board members.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to the great year.
Yeah, congrats. It's continuing on with my secretary and treasurer's report. In speaking to Bobby and working for the city, we know that the city kind of keeps us organized through our budget by having a whole bunch of different accounts. We have salary accounts, we have fringe accounts, we have every type of account known to man, it seems at times. So talking to Bobby, we want to see if the board would approve us to create 2 additional checking accounts. The first checking account, we would move $25,000 from our general account into that new account, and that $25,000, that new account would be labeled payroll account. That way we don't run into any problems where we spend money that we don't really have, or
Right, earmarked.
you guys know what I'm talking about. Basically, we have the money earmarked for salaries for what right now just one executive director. Maybe down the line it'll have more. And then the second account, Bobby wants to start having electronic contributions made to Laredo Center for Urban Agriculture. Excuse me, but he doesn't want it to come into the main account. He wants to have a separate revenue account. So it would be basically what we're asking for is permission from the board to create a payroll account and a revenue account. So in total, LCUAS would have 3 accounts.
Yeah, may I add something? The main reason is because at farmers market, people constantly ask if we have Venmo or Cash App or any other kind of try to explore one of those possibilities. We just accept cash right now and checks, right?
Yeah, definitely we'll connect it to that revenue account. So that way you should have all sorts of payments. We'll take Bitcoin, we'll take, Dogecoin, we'll take whatever you want to give us, So definitely I'm on the same page with that. I think it's a great idea. And if, is there any concerns from the board on this? Okay, great. So can I get a motion from someone to create these 2 new accounts?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion. New account.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. All those opposed? Great. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, I'll make sure that Bobby gets all of this taken care of, and that's it for me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you again. I did accidentally skip through public comments, so for the record, is there any public comments that anyone would like to make today? Okay, moving forward. For the volunteers report, I don't believe Morgan has joined us today. Is there anyone who would like to say anything on behalf of the volunteers? Or is anyone here?
Well, I have something about volunteers in my report.
Okay. So then moving on to the executive director's report. What's up?
Yeah. Okay, so back in June, we were able to donate some of our produce to the Laredo community fridge. After the farmers market, any leftovers and produce that we had in the fridges, we proceeded to donate them to the Laredo community fridge. Our course ended June 24th. We had a great turnout, over 25 total participants, but 8 people. We had 8 graduates. They committed to 6, 7, or 8 sessions throughout the 2 months. So they got a certificate, and we provided some refreshments on the closing ceremony. It was great. We were added to the Laredo Municipal Court list of community service providers. The court that leads Judge Chuy Dominguez. So we have started to get new volunteers from the court. We have three people right now are getting their hours with us at the community garden. We had the Food Policy Council meeting back in June at the department. With the help of Able City, we deliver draft of goals for each sector, and we put some goals and an objective that we would like to accomplish in the near future. We have been participating in the farmers market for 10 months in a row, like Priscilla said. Last event, we sold around $400 worth of produce, plants, flowers. Next farmers market is in 2 days. Today we had the gardening, the volunteer event where we gather La Bodega del Cuervo and Gloria's Coffee Bar. So we designed this initiative to get more volunteers. After the course, we still need volunteers in the garden. So we decided to implement each Thursday morning a gardening session with muffins and coffee. Today we got about 10 to 12 people, a great mix of 4 volunteers, class graduates, and new volunteers. So it was awesome. Today we almost harvested everything for Saturday, which normally we are struggling one day before, and it's the day of the farmers market. So as of now, we have everything ready in the fridges, almost everything. We still have to harvest herbs and flowers and whatsoever, but we have almost everything ready for Saturday. So it was a great success today morning. And maintenance, well, heavy rains, translating good harvest, but also weeds comes back faster. So we're struggling because sometimes Mr. Navarro, I think he's short staff. Sometimes we have help from parks. Sometimes we have to rely on our volunteers. So I decided to subcontract Mr. Cecilio Montiel and delegate some of the maintenance activities to him. And I deliver all those receipts to Bobby last week. And important days, you will see the list of days in July. We have two ongoing projects with the Boy Scouts. One is Brandon Lopez. He's troop 201, and he's leading a team to plant 10 secret trees in Canseco. They have been digging holes, so they're the 50% of the project so far. David Vera is troop 407, and he's planning a vegetable garden at the Sacred Heart Children's Home. So we have our first how that works. Grants on the scope. We have the National Garden Bureau is on the review. We applied for a grant of $3,000. The Stanley Smith Horticulture Trust, I sent a letter 2 days ago. The deadline was today, but I sent it 2 days before ahead of the deadline. Should be under review right now. I included that letter in this report so you can have a time to read it. So hopefully they will invite us in the following weeks to submit the full proposal. And that grant, that trust, we are requesting $20,000.
So I think in the future, it's helpful if you have the report and maybe share your screen. It doesn't have to be right now, but in the future, and then you can run through it. It's a lot easier to read it alongside and to be able to see it, to get an idea.
We can do right now. No worries. Yeah, that's what I normally do.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Thank you.
Jose, I also want to mention, were you done with your report? I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, not yet, but yeah.
Oh, okay, no, I'll wait till you're done.
Okay. Estamos aquí okay, aquí están los Boy Scouts. Here's a record of donation that we have had in the past 3 months. Grants of the scope. The National Garden Bureau, it's under review. Then the letter of inquiry, under review. Letter included as an appendix to this report. Then the USDA grant, we have an open grant, which due July 30th. I have probably a 40 to 50% project already written, but we still need to work on the budget and metrics and performance. But that's it. If you're interested and you want to help me develop that project, please let me know. We may include some letter of commitment from Health Department and La Bodega y Cuervo. Actually, I'm including here the name of the project that I'm writing is Growing Food Security, Expanding Urban Ag, Food Education and Social Entrepreneurship in Laredo. The main goals are these three: advancing sustainable urban ag in Laredo, increasing accessibility of food education in Laredo, and expanding social entrepreneurship opportunities in Laredo. I see our main partners, Farmers Market, La Bodega, Agri Life Extension, Health Department, TAMIU, probably Mile 1, I don't know, TAMIU SBDC, as the main partners for this particular project that I'm writing. Upcoming funding opportunities, we have a list. Some of these are mini grants, some of those are regular grants like $5,000, $10,000, and some of them are big grants that we can request over 30 or 50,000. And some of these opportunities that as I said before, open in July, September, fall. Okay. So I believe, well, here at the end, as an appendix, you can read my letter of inquiry. I'm requesting $20,000 to fulfill salaries and support, renovation of our pollinator garden, and the development of our terrace-scape garden. Okay. So that will be all for today.
Very nice. I know we've been discussing some, extra things like, kind of the online courses and such. I know you're obviously, overwhelmed right now with a ton of things, but
not right now, man.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get some funding so that we can start getting you more resources and more help. I think overall you're doing an incredible job being able to touch on all these different objectives that we have as an organization. And, just you need more people to help you do all of the extra things that we'd like to do. But overall, great job. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is there any comments from anyone who'd like to make any comments before we move forward?
Yeah, real quick, just because it popped in my head and if I don't say it, I won't remember later. I would say I think it would be a good opportunity, maybe not right now, but maybe when you start getting an office and start getting a little more kind of transactions coming through, is to apply for the SNAP program. So you can receive SNAP benefits as, like a store, like if you would go to Walmart, they accept SNAP benefits. So that if someone wanted to come to the garden and purchase some produce from you, they could do that with their SNAP benefits. So that's another income opportunity that it's a small fee. It's a small fee every month. You have to pay, I think it's like $30 or maybe not even $30. And then there's a small transaction fee. So when you swipe the card, I'm not too sure what those numbers are now, but it's very little compared to what the benefit of that is. Especially in your district that you're in. I'm sure that district is, low income community and has all of those things. So your community would benefit that as well.
Definitely. Yeah, we spoke about this, I think maybe a month or two ago, right? I forgot what, I think there was some electronic processing that could even help with this effort. So that'd be perfect. And maybe we should have also on the report, if you can maybe have also like pending or future projects or something like that, like a section of like something like this is mentioned. And that way there's like transparency as we go moving forward, what's still pending. And if somebody sees something that they like or that they could help with, or, you know what, I'm familiar with the SNAP program, then maybe reach out to this person so we can get it done. And that, that visibility for all of the board, I think is going to help, kind of help you accelerate some of these projects.
Yeah, there was, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jose, go ahead.
So that I actually mentioned the board in my letter of inquiry. So please take time to read it.
Sorry, Priscilla, you were saying?
I'm sorry, he cut off so I didn't hear him, but Main Street, before I came on, Main Street had gotten a grant one time to match, I think it was like a dollar for dollar grant, where if you spend $10 at the farmer's market using your SNAP benefits, then we would give you another $10. So you would essentially get $20 worth of produce, whatever you got. So there's grant opportunities attached to having that SNAP machine ready.
That's awesome. Yeah, that would be perfect for this stuff. I mean, like you said, the residents, I think that's our low income and goal, right, is really where this has kind of been created from. So this is probably a big part, and probably should, maybe what we can do is even like a priority list, right? There's a ton of things we want to do. I would say this is one of those higher priority items.
In my pending, pending projects, the subscription box model, that's in my top priorities, because right now with the success that we have been having in the farmers market, that's something that we may explore in the future.
Yeah, definitely grocery subscriptions, get your,
Today, actually, talking about that, today with Mr. Navarro this morning, we were so happy because we saw our fridges full of produce. 7 a.m. bien padres, ready for Saturday farmers market.
nice.
That's exciting. We have the infrastructure online to do those boxes. I'll make sure to touch with Nidia to get with you because we do need to get on that already. So I'll let her know.
Upload that image on Instagram or something so we can grab that.
Yeah, I have pictures. I'll post them this afternoon. Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. Okay, is there any other comments before we move forward and pretty much end the meeting? Okay, so next is the Food Policy Council Partnership Report. I don't see Karen on here today, but just, I guess, quick overview. They've done some pretty incredible things over at Able City as our Laredo Food Policy Council Committee as part of this organization. They were able to use a lot of their resources. I think as part of like the Viva Laredo Comprehensive Plan or something. It was incredibly structured, and they have gotten a lot of input and organized it really well. I highly encourage you to look at how they've structured all of the responses that they got. If you don't have access to that drive, let me know, and I can forward that email to you. They have just drives of just all of this information from the entire community. People, in the UISD, food procurement department. There's a lot of great insights on there. Yeah, it's just incredibly well organized. I'll ask now, does anybody not have access to that drive?
I don't think I have access to that drive.
Okay.
This is Claudia.
Hey, Claudia. Okay, I'll make sure to forward that to you then.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that... Actually, so I see Jay White. Can y'all send me a message on here so I can grab your emails, or email me if you have it. That way I can just grab it from here.
And just double checking with Coach Gomez. So you're meeting next Wednesday?
That's correct. Councilman Mark is gonna have a meeting at 12 p.m. Wednesday, in the main floor of the Consejo House. We're gonna set up
Okay.
a table and some, we're gonna bring a conference table with some chairs set up there, and that way, leave it there in the meantime, that's that, until we little by little furnish it. So if we ever wanna have meetings, or when somebody wants to have meetings, they're more than welcome to have the meetings there. Okay?
Very good. Awesome.
Great. Is there any final comments before we move to adjourn the meeting? Okay, well, with that, we're not awesome, but thank you all again for your time. I really appreciate it. And if you ever have any other comments or questions, I'm always available to you, and Jose as well. And with that, I'd like to ask someone to motion to adjourn the meeting.
I move to adjourn the meeting. Or a second.
Okay, so Guillermo moved to adjourn the meeting. Priscilla, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Great. All those opposed? Great. Motion carries. Thank you all very much. Have a great rest of your day. See you at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.